Hello Year 5, this is Miss Big speaking and welcome to your Monday maths lesson. You can see today we're going to look at dividing two-digit numbers by a one-digit number. To get our skills warmed up, we're going to do a flashback 4. Could you please record in your maths book today's date and learning objective, underline neatly with a ruler, write flashback 4 and try questions 1 to 4. Don't forget the extra to check out your work with time. Pause the video now and have a go. Here you can see the answers to those questions. For the first one, 175 metres multiplied by 18. This is the answer. If you're not sure how to do that, down here is a reminder of your skills from last week. First we do the 175 times by the 8 to get this answer. Then we do 175 times by the 10 to get this answer. Add the two together, which matches the answer up here. Linking back to skills last week, 17 times 8, 136. Number 3, how do you know that 73 does not divide by 3 exactly? One answer, 60 does, but the leftover 13 to get up to 73 does not. Another way we've looked at it in class is if we add the digits 7 add 3, that makes 10. And 10 is not in the 3 times table. That's why we know it does not divide by 3 exactly. Lastly, adding these two together, we get this answer. And for time, you can see it here recorded as 9:10 AM or PM. But if we do it in 24-hour clock, remember the 0, 9, 10 hours. Or if it was in the evening, 21, 10 hours. Moving on to today's learning then. We're going to begin by looking at our PowerPoint and learning the skills. You can do this on scrap paper or anywhere else, or just practice as you're going along, as you would in class. Let's have a look then at today's learning. So we are learning to divide two digits by one digit. Let's get ready to warm up our skills using our division. Here you can see which times tables you need to look in and keep going till you get to the number on this side. On you go. Let's have a look at those answers. 40 divided by 4, 10. 12 divided by 4, 3. 52 divided by 4 is slightly different, but you might have noticed that in number 1, 40, and in number 2, 12, if we add them together, it makes 52. Therefore, if we add the answers 10 and 3 together, we find the answer to this one, which is 13. In this one, we're looking in our 7 times table, and the answer is 12. Let's learn our skills for today. Our calculation is 39 divided by 3. So I'm going to need to have 3 equal groups. Have a look at what I've done. Did I do it correctly? No. I've got 4 counters in each group, but I do not have 3 equal amounts in each group. For example, here is 13, this is 22, and this is 4. They are not equal. Let's try again. So here I have my 3 tens, 30. Here I have 9 ones, which makes 39. We want to share that by 3. So here I've got my place value grid. I'm going to take my 3 tens first, and I'm going to share them equally. If you look on my grid, I've divided it into 3 rows because I'm dividing by 3. Let's move them across. So I've shared out those 3 tens equally. There is 1 in each row. I'm taking those 9 ones and sharing them equally. In each row, there are 3. Therefore, when I have 39 and share it equally into 3 groups, the answer on each row is 13. So the answer is 13. 45 divided by 3. Here I've made it with my place value counters. Here is my grid. I take what I can do first, so I'm sharing out 3 of the 10s. Then I notice I've got 1 left. Now I can't just put 1 in each side, so what I'm going to do is exchange this 10 for 10 ones. And there they go. Now I have 15 ones. I share them equally. So my 45, I've looked and I've made it from 30, which is in my 3 times table, and 15, which is also in my 3 times table. The 15 ones are here. The 3 10s, the 30, is there. We're going to move those across so that each group is equal. And here on each row, we've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we've got 45 divided by 3 is 15 in each group. Your turn. But before you do that, I want you to just look, because I'm going to show you how to lay that out in your book. Look carefully. In your book, you have your squares. So I'd like you, please, to put number 1 and to use maybe 3 or 4 across for each column. So here's my 10s column, here's my 1s column, and I'm doing 93 divided by 3. So I'm writing my 90 and my 3 partitioned down. Here I've built it into 3 rows because I'm dividing by 3 and shared them out equally, checked how many's on each row, and there's my answer. I do the same again for 2. When you've finished, you'll pause the video here so you know exactly what to do. When you've finished up to the end of number 4, come back to me. Let's have a look then at what to do next. So we've done numbers 1 to 4 on the worksheet. Let's have a look at this one. 51 divided by 3. 51. Now we could partition that into 10s and 1s, 50 and 1. But that becomes tricky because we've got to divide each part by 3. And to divide each part by 3 is really hard because 50 is not in my 3 times table, and 1 divided by 3 will leave me with a decimal or fraction. Not very useful. So I'm going to have a look and think, how else could I partition it into 2 numbers that will be in my 3 times table? So I've chosen 30, which is in my 3 times table, and 21. Together 30 and 21 make 51. 30 divided by 3 is 10. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Then I want to add those 2 parts together and I end up with 17. So the answer to 51 divided by 3 is 17. Have a go, pause the video and try these ones. We'll go through it together in a minute. Let's have a look at those answers then. So 64, we're dividing it by 4. We're going to partition it into 2 numbers that we know are in our 4 times table. For example, 40 and 24 are both in my 4 times table. When I add them together, they make 64. 40 divided by 4 is 10. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Together, they make 16. 75 divided by 5. So we're looking in our 5 times table for 2 numbers that we can partition to make that 75. For example, 50 and 25. You may have picked 2 different numbers, but as long as they're multiples of 5, that's okay. 50 divided by 5 is 10. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Together, that makes 15. Let's try this problem-solving question. So I want you to imagine there are 60 donuts and a box can hold 4 donuts. I want to know how many full boxes of donuts will there be. So I'm taking my 60 and dividing it into groups of 4 because each box holds a group of 4. and I want to see how many of those groups of 4 I can make. So I've got my 6 tens here. So I'm going to share out what I can, and I've built my 4 rows because I'm dividing by 4. I can move 1 10, 2 10s, 3 10s, 4 10s, but I'm left with 2 10s. That makes 60 divided into 4 10s, which is 40, and left over I have 20. So I'm going to get that 20 and I'm going to exchange it into 21s. I can then share that out equally, and I know 20 divided by 4 is 5. So on each row we've got 1 10 and 5 1s, which is 15. 15 full boxes can be made from 60 donuts. Your turn to have a go at questions 5 to 9 on the worksheet, but just have a quick look at how I'd like you to record that in your book. Here we go. Number 5, I write down what it is that it's asking me to do, and then I'm going to respond using a sentence starter. Teddy knows this because, and then I'm going to give an example using the method that we've been looking at in this lesson. You could pause the video and use my structure to help you to record in your book. Use the same idea for all of the questions from number 5 to 9 on the worksheet. Some of you have got red challenges that have been given to you in your work packs. For this, you'll need to cut out each work calculation and challenge and stick it in your book as shown. Stick it neatly so it lines up with the squares in your book, and before you begin a second one, leave 2 squares gap before you stick in the next one. But always complete your working out before you look to stick in the second one. In this question, it's asking, do you agree? And explain why. For example, Dora is correct because, and then you're going to prove why she is correct. In the second one, record it at the side, but show your working out. So underneath you can see I've done 69 divided by 3. I've used my method, found the answer, 96 divided by 3, and I found the answer, and then I found that 32 is larger than the 23, or 23 is smaller than the 32, and I put the correct symbol in. On you go, please, to complete the rest of your work, and I'll see you tomorrow for your next math session. Goodbye.